Buddy, it's Lex.
I'm Jordan at PDQ.com.
Hey, one schedule to rule them all.
Yeah, I think that's the title anyway. I don't know if we're going to do it.
Well, I think we can try. We're going to try. Again, I've got my Hobbit feet going on today. Well, like every day anyway. There they are, guys. See? Hobbit feet. We were thinking about, what do you need to do if you need to do something fast and dirty and just get it done and build one schedule to basically just get everything going out there. So
this method was pioneered by Hanks. So
Mr. Hanks,
if
yes.
we could refer to this as the Hanks method, he'd really
We'll call it the
appreciate
Hanks
it.
method. He would love that. And then he'll probably meet us out afterwards. Anywho. Okay, so to do this and go through this, we got to kind of build some, logic into, I guess, just walk through the process. So the first thing in regards to, building a schedule that takes care of everything, right? One, we need to talk about auto downloads. So anytime you download something from our package library, we'll say, Adobe Air in this case, you have an option right here. Now, this is, I've got the default set to auto download. Now, if you do right click this, you could download selected as a standard package and then you can change it. But in that case, it's not going to auto update. And you do want these to auto update. So where you set that globally is up here in options, preferences, under auto downloads. This is set to 7 days. I mean, I like 7 days. What are your thoughts?
Whatever time frame works best for you, but it is important to have a time frame. Just a couple months ago, there was a Windows update that I think the print spooler would cause blue screen.
Oh, yeah.
Which I'm wondering if the fix for that is what caused the 0 day yesterday.
I wonder. Let's go take a look. Windows 10, right? So if you take a look at any of these, we'll just grab 2004 64-bit. If you look at our history down here, it looks like one's already dropped off the list 8th, there. But there was a bunch of March. Oh, it looks like we've done a bunch of June too.
Yep. So yeah, in June they had a really big issue with that one. They had to resend it out. So where those were 3 days apart, if you had the 7 day span, you're not installing the bad version. You get the next one. That's why it's important to have a lab environment where you send out right away, an instant, and then your production, which you really want to wait on.
Absolutely. And the nice thing is that 7 days is going to save you from a bad day. I mean, a really bad day it could. So that's why I like 7. So again, fit it for what you guys need. But okay, so ultimately, right, new version of Google comes down, or Chrome's Google, the entire Google comes down.
All of the Googles.
All of the Googles. So if you look here under approvals, right, and let me get rid of my Windows 10 filter. Check it out. There's the approval. Again, my package is version 91.114. The latest is 91.124. It'll automatically approve after 7 days, and we've got 3 hours and 51 minutes left.
Okay.
I'm impatient.
Yeah, and it's one of those, if you've tested it, you're comfortable, you can come in and early approve.
Highlight it again, and then just hit approve now. And there you go. It's going to download it. So, all right. So that's going to take care of making sure that you get, the most up-to-date packages in at least a timely manner, kind of an offset manner. Very important for obviously keeping your stuff up to date and making it somewhat automated. Second thing we should talk about, inventory and collections, right? Because we're going to need this in this case. Now, again, you notice I've got Chrome Enterprise. I've got the collection library expanded to our internet browser. We were just talking about Chrome. And so you've got Chrome old, not installed in the latest. Again, a couple of things just for those who happen to be new to this. Right up here, you can see the current version is 91.124, and these are the two machines that need to be up, or that are at the current version, under latest. And then we've got 34 machines that need to be updated, and that's a really big scan status window there. So I don't know why that bugs me, but I gotta fix it, and I gotta fix it live. There we go. All right, anywho.
So real quick on our 7 day delay, I was just looking at the chat, and Colby says he recommends shorter just because vulnerabilities are abused so fast anymore that he says shorter than 7 days. It's kind of preference, because if you set it to 1 day like the recommend, then you would have been installing a bad patch in that case where...
Well, I guess the other thought is this. I mean, that's a good point to bring up, Colby, vulnerabilities. How many of those vulnerabilities have been exploited weeks before anyways? I mean, I'm not saying leave yourself exposed, but...
During Patch Tuesday, they usually do a pretty good job of letting you know these ones are already actively exploited or if they're already known, but that's only for the ones that have been patched for that month, not for everything.
A good point. You do put out a blog every Patch Tuesday, so guys, check that out. Jordan does a great job of kind of telling you what's going on there. All right, now the reason we bring this up is because we're going to use collections as conditions and packages to make sure. Now, again, normally I'd go in and we'd build a schedule, right? And we'd say, okay, only install Chrome on machines that come from Chrome old. And then as a best practice, and this is a best practice, not, we're showing you, down and dirty, do it quick. Best practice would be one schedule per package, right? Well, in this case, we're going to do one schedule for all the packages in this case.
Yeah, so it's kind of this is, if you're a new environment, it's a baseline, get everyone on the same page, and then you want to fine tune. But the value of our product is in automation, and with automation, it's important you spend time at first, so you don't have to spend time later. So this one we're kind of showing how you can get started, but then you really want to go in and fine tune it and make it perfect for your environment.
Okay, I absolutely agree with Jordan. Like, this is maybe a 1 week, 2 week kind of a thing as you get ramped up just to get things under wraps. So here is how you're going to build this one schedule to rule them all of sorts. Now, if I put every package in a schedule, right? So let's go build a schedule. We'll just go to schedules. We're going to go to new schedule, and I just start attaching packages, right? Who do I send these to, right? I mean, how do I pick targets, right?
Well, there's a couple of options, which I think the one we're going over first is we're just going to the schedule, send it to everyone, and let the package level decide if it's going to send it out or not.
Okay, so I'm just adding the packages, triggers wise, and again, we're going to show you a couple of ways to do this. I'm going to send this weekly. We'll say Fridays. We'll do it after hours because, I do everything after hours. Just don't want phone calls. Okay, so targets. There's no one specific thing that machine that has files that has everything on it that I might be needing, that might need an update. Some might have it, some might not. But we are going to point this at all computers. Or also, I guess we could eliminate that. Let's do workstations.
Workstations, so we don't want to update servers. I guess we don't want to put Chrome on servers. That's bad.
Probably not. So we're going to just select workstations. So all my workstations are going to get everything that's in here. Now,
all two of them.
Yeah, okay. It's an example, man. It's an example. Here's kind of the issue with this, right? So every machine now is going to get FileZilla, whether it needs it or not, whether it's got the updated version, whether it doesn't have it. You know what I mean? It's going to get it.
It's a lot of unnecessary network traffic.
Right. Same thing with Chrome. Everything. So how do I limit that? I mean, I can't limit it by picking targets here, but this is one way you can limit it. You're going to go into your package level, and we'll say we're going to open Chrome, and we'll do this on FileZilla also. We'll go to conditions. Okay. Now here is where you can limit where this runs. Under properties, you go to inventory collection. Only run this on a, well, check it out. We already selected that yesterday in the thing, but
we're ahead of our time.
Absolutely. Only run this on machines that are a member of Chrome old. Okay. Now, when I do that, I'm going to save this, right? I'll do the same thing with FileZilla. What's the issue I'm going to run into with this, Jordan?
So this is going to update all the old versions, but if you have a machine that doesn't have the software installed at all, it's just going to pass over because it's not an old version. There's no version of it. So
at this point, I can't install Chrome on a machine, like deploy Chrome to, we'll just deploy once. We'll go select a machine from Chrome old, or Chrome not installed, right?
Well, even if you don't specify not installed, it's going to fail because it's not a member of the Chrome old.
So at this point, I can deploy this, and I'm going to get rid of all but brother, right?
Coward.
I am a coward. I deploy this now. This is going to fail. It failed right there because collection membership. So in essence, I've made that package only able to go to Chrome old, which works for my schedule.
Yeah, it keeps all of those machines that already have it up to date, but you're either gonna have another version of the software or another package.
So I have to download another package that I could use,
or you can just download that one, which it seems clunky. But like I said, this one's definitely not a long-term solution. I've just taken over. It's all a mess. People don't have what they need.
Let's just get this done this weekend.
Send it out. Yeah.
Okay. There's another way we can do this that doesn't affect these packages that way.
All right,
let me go reset this. You want to kind of walk through that process, how we could do that?
So the other option, instead of having multiple packages, is you can create one package that is a nested step, and then on the nested step, you can set that condition. So the package itself doesn't have anything.
It's okay. So let's just go do that real quick. So in this case, instead of at the package or the schedule level, where did my schedule go? I don't add the packages here, right?
It's not letting you remove
Detach
them.
package.
There you go.
Detach package, like I've never done this before. Okay, what you'd end up doing is this, right? We're going to go in and say, okay, all machines are going to get FileZilla and Chrome, for our example, right? Going to create a package nesting these. And now at this level, because I don't have to, and by the way, I did go change those back so you can install them on machines that don't have it. I can go at the step level and say under conditions, let's not use the nested package conditions. We're going to say in this case, only install Chrome on Chrome old here. And same thing under conditions here, only install this one on members of FileZilla old.
Yep, and this will just allow it so you can use the same package for new machines that need it, with also being able to update the old ones without sending it everywhere. Quick and dirty.
Yeah?
I like it.
So now for this, one time, maybe 2-time deal to do this, I can go into my new schedule and attach my quick and dirty, right? Package. And in this case, because of the nested package, the conditions in that are going to take care of that. So I could go at this point and install Google on machines that need it and FileZilla without having to worry about that package level condition taking care of that.
Yeah, it's going to serve. This is going to serve the same function. It's just going to make it so you have to have less packages. Where if you're looking for a single schedule, you probably want a single package as well, just to make it all, I guess, kind of condensed.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. Do we have any questions that have come in?
Yeah, we have a question we can throw up for you. Hey guys, could you please take us through the do's and don'ts of stop deploying when successful, especially when new versions are released? Sincerely, bah.
Right, absolutely. So that setting on the schedule is, if you are using auto update packages, it's probably just best to have that one, because it's basically going to install it once and it won't try again until a new version comes through. It will automatically clear that out for you and it will install the newer version. If you're using...
Will you pop up the screen, Jake? Because I've got this up so we can show where this is done. So,
Yep.
Right there, guys. Okay, and the schedule.
So in this case, it's installed, it'll stop, it's going to save bandwidth, stop trying to send it, because it will mark it as this has already been successful. The kind of the issue with that one is, so something goes wrong, you need to reinstall it for some reason, you're not going to be able to use the schedule, but you can go in and just manually install it that one time as the one-off. If you're not using package library, there's nothing in there to clear out the target history by default.
Okay.
So if you have that checked, it's only going to ever install once and then stop. So it's a bad idea to use it for that.
Okay, the other thing I want to point out is if you're doing maintenance stuff that needs to run over and over and over again, like reboots, cleaning temp files, those kind of things, and you're doing that on a schedule, make sure you don't tag that, because it will only run once. And then, next week when you want to do that maintenance, it'll come up and say it didn't run on everybody because it had already run. So that's kind of where I would say do's and don'ts.
If you have built your own custom installers and you still want to have the schedule, we have a webcast out there where we wrote a script that basically goes in when the software updates with the newer version. You just run that script and it'll go through and it'll clear out the target history for you. And so it will kind of work like the stop deployment, and that will work, but it takes a lot of work with the non-standard. Non-packaged
It takes some work.
Yeah.
A lot to get it set up, but after that, it's pretty easy. So again, it's like anything in automation we're talking about. Spend the time up front so you can be as lazy as me and Jordan. Do we have another question?
Sure, why not? Dear Lex and Jordan, what happens when a package gets another update while it is already waiting for an approval? Sincerely, T. Frodo.
The timer will restart, and it will, in 7 days, skip over the one that had in the short lapse time and install the latest one.
So again, let's just take a look here at this Windows 2004 package. Came out in June. Looks like they hit 2 of them June 8th. So the first one came out. We would have downloaded it on the 15th. Second one came out. Looks like we would have downloaded that on the 15th. This third one came out on the 11th. Now we would have downloaded that on the 18th. So it just keeps resetting that timer. So again, it's...
Basically, if something comes within your time frame, it's just going to skip over that, because either it's going to assume in that short of notice that something's wrong with that update, or if you have an extremely long one, don't.
Yeah.
Don't.
So hopefully that explains kind of that timer of sorts. Yeah?
Yep.
Okay. Another question, or you want me to continue, guys?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and we'll keep gathering questions.
Okay, so back to the one scheduled through them all. You guys, I am so bad at naming this stuff. I think since we're going with the Lord of the Rings, we'll call this Tolkien, right? Is our schedule? Did I do that right?
Well, it's close enough.
That's not how you spell it?
He'll be the Tolkien book author.
Okay, Token? There's an L. Shut up, dude.
There's an I as well.
There. Now
Okay.
there's an I. Is that right?
Well, we'll count it.
We'll give that a win. Okay. Again, our triggers, okay, our targets, all the workstations, our one package, the quick and dirty, and then option stop deploying targets from C. Now, save that. That goes into my schedules. Let's talk about some caveats and things you absolutely have to think about if you're going to let this kind of thing run. First of all, if you've got machines in different time zones, because this is going to try and deploy everything to every machine that needs it, right? That's in this package. So let's say, you've got an office in Europe, you've got an office in, what are you laughing for?
Marcel spelled Tolkien for you.
And then I corrected him.
That's right. Thank you, Jake.
I'm sorry, I caught it and it made me chuckle.
I hate you.
That's
I
fair.
hate everybody.
That's fair.
So where was I?
We were talking about time zones.
Time zones.
Yep.
Thank you for reeling it back. Okay, so just be careful because, at 8 o'clock, and this is for any schedule, guys, not just this one, but this one especially is going to be aggressive, right? Because we're just trying to get everything up to date really quick. It could be 8 o'clock at night in Europe, and it could be, noon, somewhere in the Americas.
This assumes you have a single server that's in. If you have central server and it's all over, then it'll follow the time zone of wherever it's at. But if you have a central location and it's sending multiple time zones, you definitely want to watch out for that one.
Okay, so there's time zones. Second thing, we did mention, right, if you go in and you change the package level conditions here to only install Chrome on Chrome old, we again are not going to be able to install any new versions on any machines, which I guess in one way is kind of a twisted safety net, right? But it's not going to do what you need, right? So be aware of that. That's a huge kind of component. Any other thoughts you have on considerations?
With all things computer, it's going to do what you tell it, not necessarily what you want.
Good point.
So in that one, if you do set the schedule, the package setting, and you notice not going, you're going to have to go in and do the research. That's why we're going with the quick and fast one. But if you're looking for like a very, very thorough thing, you want to spend a lot of time, get it perfected, then everything that's easier to track down. Where this one, if you make a mistake, you're going to have to go digging through a lot on a single item.
That's a good point. What about a heartbeat schedule? What do you think of that?
So I love the heartbeat schedule, but it doesn't work the way people think it does. It's not next time anything pings or next time you scan. A heartbeat is if it goes in and it sees the computer is offline.
In inventory.
Yeah. Inventory sees the computer is offline. The next time that computer checks in is online, that's when heartbeat will trigger. So that one can be a little bit more confusing than it seems if you expect it to, like next time it pings or scans, it's going to run, but it only runs when it switches from offline to online.
Yeah. So again, if you're installing that much software when a machine comes on, I guess, if you had multiple schedules doing the same thing over the weekend, it's going to run the same. I was just wondering if you thought there was anything that could be.
Well, it's really good for if you have a lot of remote users but don't have a VPN.
Yeah.
It's when they come into the office for any reason. That's where Heartbeat is great because then all of those will kick off. And it's great in a lot of places. It's definitely better than the retry queue.
I would
it's
say
less busy.
It's my preferred method to catch offline machines. Is there anything? I can't think of a reason why you wouldn't do it in this schedule case. But then again, watch me run this and learn come Monday when everyone's turning their machines on why you wouldn't want to do this.
I do find that I have Heartbeat on by default.
Okay.
It seems on most schedules when I build them.
Okay. So just be aware, guys. I think it's going to run. It should run pretty typical, like you would expect. I'm just wondering if you end up slamming a machine with, so many updates, it could,
And Marshall
phone
wanted to
call.
point out with the time zones, you have to worry about daylight savings time. Just because it rolls back, I think you said at 2 o'clock. And that one, so if you're expecting 3 o'clock, but it rolls back at 2, so you want to make sure that your schedules aren't impacted by that too bad.
That's a good point.
Or move everything to Arizona.
I think we should just stick with one, pick one and stick with it. All right. Okay. We've shown you this. Okay, again, this is not a best practice, guys. This is a quick and dirty. The nice thing about this is we took you through auto downloads so that you know, once again, this is how they work. This is what to expect. Again, there's a debate: how often, how soon should you wait to do the update? 7 days, 3 days, whatever. That's up to you. But understand how that works and how that's going to affect this kind of thing. This will. The nice thing is this: if in this case, FileZilla and Chrome are up to date on most machines, it's going to run and not a whole lot's going to happen other than, failed due to file condition. You're going to get some reads on that, or excuse me, package, in this case, step conditions on the what is that package? Quick and dirty, right? So step not run due to condition. So you're going to catch a little bit of database information in regards to that because you're trying to hit so many machines with it, but it will do it quick and dirty. Best practices, though. I mean, we do have to, this, again, it's a good tool to get you where you need to be quick.
Yeah.
But
There's nothing wrong with getting it up to an acceptable baseline, but everything with automation is you spend the time up front so you have all your free time later. We're all naturally lazy. That's why we're in IT. At least that's my take on it. But you have to be smart about being lazy. So you want to spend all the time beforehand, get everything set up to do the job for you, and then you can, smoke your pipe and drink your scotch while everyone else is working.
good. That's good. And then again, I just want to point this out, guys. Once you've run this a couple of times, you don't have to delete it. You can leave it so you can refer back to it, right? You can just right click and disable this. So let's do some questions and then we will talk best practices because we want to end on this is how you really should do this. So let's take a few questions.
All right. Hey guys, is it possible to deploy auto-updated packages staggered, so many a day, so I don't get in trouble from my network manager? Sincerely, Jason C.
Hey, Jason.
Yeah, absolutely. You'd have to require multiple schedules, I imagine, or we did a webcast a while ago where we had a rotating variable where that would change. So it would be one schedule. After it runs, it would increment that variable, and then each computer was a part of that variable group.
That webcast was called Smart Schedules, and again, you need groups set up. So I do this group on Friday, Thursday, so on and so forth. That works really well. Again, if you're doing, and I would say a best practice, one schedule per package, you can set those packages to run different days, so you're not, slamming everybody on one day.
That's still going to go. That one package is still going to go to every machine, which I think was the concern.
Oh, okay.
So I think you wanted to break up even the single package into multiple machines. So I think at that point it's multiple schedules or the smart schedule that we built a while ago.
That's a great webcast. What else we got?
Dear Lex and Jordan, if you schedule an auto-download package to the corresponding /old collection with an active approval delay, the schedule starts deploying the old version until the package gets approved. How can you avoid that? Thanks, SB.
So I think that just goes back to how old, because old is a catch-all for everything. So if you have 3 or 4 versions of old, when you install the latest oldest package, everything else is going to fall short of that. So it's going to install some of them, I believe.
Okay. The other thing is this, right? If you got a bunch of machines that were off when they were originally supposed to get it and then they're on, what's wrong with getting them closer to where it's supposed to be?
Yeah, in that case, especially if it's a new schedule, I don't see anything wrong with whatever the latest version is. Push that to every machine first, and then build your schedule. And that way, the old is going to be uniform. You're not going to get the inconsistency.
Okay.
All right.
Next question.
All right. If you guys want, we can almost go speed round with this.
Okay.
Gentlemen, specifically Lex, your head was in the way, but can you add multiple is member of collection? For example, Chrome old and Chrome missing. Sincerely, Joeb.
Yes, you can, but you got to do a nested collection on that. And I'll move my head out of the way. Or maybe I'll make Jake move my head out of the way.
For you.
All right,
Sorry,
so
I missed that.
what you're going to do is you're going to come in here and you call this the new dynamic collection called Super Chrome. Suppa. All right, I'm going with super. I can't even make a joke, right, with my spelling. Super Chrome. Okay, now the easiest way, and I learned this one from Colby, in the computer table you can go into and look for collection. Okay, collection is a member of, what was it, Chrome old and Chrome missing, right? So we go to our collection library and expand that. Chrome old.
There you go. Well, then he said he wanted not installed.
Yep, and we do the same thing again, and is also a member of applications, internet browser. Wow, that's a third way to do it. That's kind of cool.
Yeah.
You just apply that to the package at the package level, and now
That's way better. We spent all this time on the prep work, and then
he comes up with a better
here
way.
it comes. Like,
I love
you
it.
guys are dumb.
You get. I did something right.
Well, the risk with that one is it's going to install it on every machine. So if the software doesn't need to go on every machine, is where you're likely to run into.
Kate, I don't know if you guys noticed when I ran that, it gave me 0. It says this or this. I need to put an and in there, and there you go.
Okay.
So make sure it's any of this or any of that. Again, that's right here, guys. Right there, any. And, let me do the right there. Make sure you
The chat was way ahead of you.
guys rock. You're like, Lex, you're doing it wrong already. Okay. Did that take a minute?
We're close.
Okay.
You're not even close.
Not even close.
No. All right, next question. When you nest the packages and put a condition on the nested step, each step will fail if the condition is not met. Is there a good way to differentiate if the failure was due to a condition or if it was due to an install failure without clicking on each machine to read the error message? Thanks, Josh C.
You know, I didn't even consider that. Is there a good way to tell if it failed because of not just a step condition?
Well, so the error that it gives you on the failure, it's always going to tell you on which package and where.
Okay.
As far as how you can do it, if you have a nested package, there is an option to say deploy from failed step, where it will go and it will find where that failed. If you go and fix the issue,
Okay.
and then do deploy from failed step, it will go through, refine that and send it through.
So here's my failed, the one that failed due to a collection membership condition.
I don't believe that was from a nested package though. So
No, that wasn't.
So we would have to modify our nested package, have it fail, and then rerun it, and you can showcase it there. But
I mean, I guess the way you could do that, I mean, there's not a real easy way. You could go build a report in inventory because all your deployments are recorded there and say, give me any that have failed that are not due to, a step condition or, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's where I'd go after that. So, yeah. What else we got?
I hope we answered that one.
All right, we've got 3 more questions in the queue, and then you guys can jump into your final spot, I guess. Gentlemen, can conditional tests be done on the next output of a command, the output that shows in the output log of a deployment step? Thank you, Billy Z.
Okay, I'm assuming this is like step 1, output of the log is this, and whatever comes out there then, affects step 2. Is that what you're reading in this?
I think so. Let's see. So can conditional tests be done on the text output? So basically, if this one, so you can set a setting where basically says if it fails, then continue, but that's not based on the text output.
Yeah.
So I don't think you can. The problem is
We discussed this the other day on the cache. Remember the
Yeah.
feed up, and we were having this discussion, and it came really down to this: if you're passing commands and stuff, and you have to be able to read a return code or whatever, it's just a series of PowerShell at that point. So why not write it in one PowerShell?
Yeah. So and it's basically the deployment packages everything, sends it over. Then if it fails, it sends it back, and it's already failed.
Yeah.
So there's nothing happening live where you can do actionable objects.
Back and forth.
So the only way you could do it is make one giant PowerShell step that's doing all the installs where you can capture any sort of error and run it based on that. Any sort of error handling that one. It would be complex and a lot of work, but if you built it out, you could do some pretty cool things with it.
True.
All right. Before we go to live, there was in the chat someone said I mentioned I don't install Chrome on servers.
Mm-hmm.
It's not necessarily a no-no, but for me, servers are usually there to perform a specific task. So I don't like to clutter with anything but its task. It's a preference thing. For me, I don't like to have anything on the server except for what the server is supposed to do.
Agreed.
Okay, next question. Hey guys, can you explain resetting a schedule by deleting schedule's history? Marcel L.
So basically, there's a PowerShell. You're going out there, okay.
Okay, so there's a couple of ways, right? Target history. So when you update a machine or you deploy a schedule, it's going to record whether it was successful or not, and it puts it in the target history. With that option to stop deploying to targets once they succeed, that target history is how it determines that. Let's say you wanted to reinstall. Let's say you did a reboot and you wanted to run that again and you forgot to take that out. one, you could just take that out, or two, you could come in and if you want to do it on individual machines, you just go find that in the history and delete those specific machines. And then there is no history that it succeeded and it will run again.
Yeah, so the other option we may have been referencing is like if you're doing Adobe Acrobat, which we can't provide that based on their rules. But if you want to build your own auto package, there you can write PowerShell where it uses our command line. You can go into schedule ID and basically do a for each machine in the target history and remove it.
Yep.
And that will clear out the history for you to let you kind of automate packages that normally aren't.
Okay. You know what, we do still have to talk best practices because we got to leave. I have to leave telling everybody the best way to do things in regards
Do that, and then we've got one question left. So there you go.
So again, guys, this is a down. You know, it's a quick and dirty schedule. Do it if you need to get stuff done quick and you don't have a lot of time to set this up. Once you've done that, guys, the best practice, and I, in every sense I've ever looked at this, one schedule per package. And for multiple reasons. One, like Jordan says, you know, you set up your automation, you do the work early, and then you can be super lazy. That's the number one reason, because I am lazy. The second thing, if you're troubleshooting stuff in regards to that, it is so much easier to go, okay, Chrome is related to this schedule. I don't have to go dig through, is it the nested package? Is it that single schedule? Is it, you know, you've got one place to look for that. And then if you do have to kick it off again in the middle of the week or something, you don't want to wait. It's one schedule to right click and send, and it takes care of that. So again, best practices, one schedule, one package, you know.
If you do have a good lab environment, then I think you want to have two schedules per package, because one that will download instantly and install on your lab right away, and the other one that goes. That way you have where you can test yourself instead of just waiting for other people.
But again, still it's you know, you're gonna have your production package, that's one schedule, and your test package, another schedule. So again, you're saying the same thing. It's like one package, one schedule per, you know.
Yeah, well, I think you could do just two schedules based off that one package that just to go off different timelines. Basically.
I guess you could.
Yeah.
That's very true too. So again, that's best practice, guys. And this is just kind of a stopgap measure for you. We've got a final question. Hopefully it's a good
we
one.
sure do. One last question. Hey guys, I noticed that there are times when PDQ does not see that the machine is online when it's really on the network, hardwired. Any trick on how to fix that? Thank you, Karina P.
So first thing you got to talk about heartbeat, how often that runs. So options, preferences, under networking and inventory. Basically to determine a machine's online, we ping, in this case, once every 5 minutes. So let's say Jordan's machine was off, he turns it on. I know it's on, he knows it's on, but inventory hasn't made that cycle yet to do the ping to turn it on. That's why it's going to show that. The other thing is, if you wanted to increase that or you do that faster, you just highlight the machine you think is online. You can either come here, right click and hit heartbeat, or hit Control H, and it will heartbeat it at that moment, and that should resolve that issue. But there can be a bit of a gap between the time the machine's on and the time inventory.
And as Colby said, also you could flush the DNS cache, because it might be where there's a disconnect somewhere within there. So flushing DNS, it might be grabbing a bad IP. I don't know if the scavenging was not aggressive enough.
Rough scavenging there, yeah. Okay, so flush it, heartbeat it. That should take care of any of those types of issues you might be seeing.
Yeah, and if nothing else, check the IP for that object and try to ping it and make sure it is responding. Like, if it sounds to me, if it's happening constantly, it's either there's an issue with DNS or there's definitely a bug where you want to contact us. But for one that you see that's offline, you know is online, do some testing just trying to reach the machine without PDQ and see if you're getting the same results as PDQ, and they'll let you know if it's either a bug or a DNS issue.
Yeah, yeah. So.
All right, guys, we'll wrap it up.
Well, again, this is just a quick and dirty, guys. Hopefully you learned a lot about auto downloads, packages, conditions, best practices. I hope you took that away from this at the very least. Jordan, what are your thoughts? Anything?
It's just, we can't stress enough. This is build a baseline for your environment if it's new. And then after that, do it the right way, spend the time, make it perfect for you.
Absolutely. Well, we appreciate you guys watching. I'm Lex.
I'm Jordan.
PDQ.com.
Thanks for joining our webcast today. Let's give away some swag, shall we? Congratulations, Josh C. and Jason C., who may or may not be related. We don't know. Send us your information at webcast@pdq.com. Thanks again for joining us, and we'll see you back here next week.